adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then MMA finest, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, train blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling might, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
And what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt. D. Rose finishing up some dinner, and he is on that side of your screen. We appreciate each and every single one of you for taking the time out of your night to come by, hang out with us here over in the Golden Octagon tonight, get our picks for UFC 301. But before we do that, we do have to get into some UFC news and fight announcements. But before we do that, I have to eat some beans because I made some bad picks on this past weekend's UFC Vegas 91. So we are going to recap UFC Vegas 91. But before we do that, D-Rose, you want to let the people know how you've been over the past week, my guy?
Things have been great as the dono train.
I see it, dude. I see it rolling in.
Little choo choo. Out here coming in, baby. No, man, things have been great. And I mean, I know, coming off this last card, I had said that I had a couple bad gambling weekends in a row, but I actually hit a couple of different parlays that actually ended up in the plus on the weekend. Finally for the first time in a while. So feel pretty good coming off of that. Now coming into this week though, this card this weekend looked very apexy-ish to me, but hopefully the fights play out better. But man, I might need to find somewhere to watch it or something like that, because I don't know if I want to pay the full 80 to watch this thing, man. I'm just being honest.
I feel you, dude. I feel you. Yeah. Let's get into the chat real quick, and then we'll recap this past weekend and such. So we got the loyal Lush Main, another Golden Wednesday with the boys. Shout out Lush Main for stopping by here tonight, brother. We got Austin saying TGO X OBS. That's a mouthful right there, Austin. But with that being said, D-Rose, StreamYard gives me issues now, dude. I can no longer switch my camera. I had to pretty much download a whole new program now to get card stuff to happen here live on the channel. So that was a fun time this past Friday. D-Rose, Matt, Austin, Lush, and D-Rose love me a Golden Wednesday. Hell yeah, Sugar Sharp. I appreciate you. Your package went out today, my guy. I sent you an email. We got Happy Hump Day, boys. Yes, sir. We got Dave Fish for Days in here. And then my favorite day of the week. What's up, boys? I appreciate that, Riley. Thank you, man. Those are some very kind words, man. Thank you for stopping by here tonight and hanging out with you, boys. What's up, fellow Golden Goonies from Tim? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, Tim. And then we are getting into some color, D-Rose. Let's step on up into the train. You got You got your choo-choo arm ready to go,
Man,
D-Rose?
I need my conductor's hat, man. That's the last thing I'm missing is my conductor's hat.
That's something that we should get, D-Rose, is a conductor's hat for the channel. All right, man. Well, let's get into it. We've got Riley with a $5 Canadian. I appreciate you, Riley, starting us off with the first chew of the dono trade. So here we go. Thank you, Riley. Appreciate it, my guy. Give you a chew. And then Lush follows it up with a $5 chew. I appreciate you, Lush. You are too kind, brother. Too kind. And then Tim behind him with another $5 saying peer pressure. Please never feel pressured to ever donate on here, Tim. We're going to be here either way. We just greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much. It helps me, I need to charge my lights, but get my lights back on over here before this weekend's Change to Cheddar. We got to have some all green lights here when Change to Cheddar happens. So I truly appreciate it, Tim, but never feel peer pressured to donate anything, man. We got Austin with the all caps 420 dono, D-Rose. Choo. Gives the actual train horn right there. And then we got Sugar Sharp dropping the $10 donation. Holy smokes. I appreciate you, Sugar Sharp. $10 donation, golden freight trade coming through. Choo. Dude, we are just rolling. We truly appreciate it, you guys. You guys are all too kind. Spending your hard-earned money over here. Y'all got too much clothes on for what I'm used to donating. Yeah, all right, that's it. No more donations. Cutting them off. No.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's talk some numbers, Riley. Let's talk some numbers.
Man, D-Rose is willing to sell his whole. You hear that here on the Golden Octagon? D-Rose will sell it. He'll sell it.
Hey, Matt will handle the YouTube side of the Golden Octagon podcast. I'll handle the OnlyFans side of the Golden Octagon MMA podcast.
But just the preview, it will only be photos of D-Rose. There's no way you guys are seeing any holes of mine on there.
Hell yeah. Oh, thank you, Dave.
Oh my goodness. So D-Rose, okay. This has gone off the rails to start this podcast, D-Rose. Anyway. Well, this is the Golden Octagon MMA podcast. We talked about UFC here on the channel, and apparently OnlyFans and buttholes and everything in between.
the conversation we can have is mind-blowing.
But on today's show specifically, what we are going to get into is this past weekend's UFC Vegas 91. Me and D-Rose are going to run through it and recap it because it was an Apex card, and because of my terrible picks, I get to eat Bean Boozled this week in the Eat the Beans category. I don't feel good about this week, D-Rose. I feel like I'm getting too bad beans, and that's not good. We have some UFC news and fight announcements to go over with a terrible taste in my mouth, and then lastly, we will get to UFC 301 Pantoja versus Erceg, our preview and our picks for this weekend's UFC pay-per-view. But fear not, me and D-Rose, or I will at least be back here Friday on Change of Cheddar to give you my last-minute bets and picks that I have, after weigh-ins and everything like that. So I'll be back here Friday as well. And, D-Rose, you're always welcome to join me on Change to Cheddar, brother. So with that being said, let's get to the first topic of today's show, this past weekend's fights, and we'll just kind of run through this. Oh my, let's see. The Golden Hulk, real moneymaker, Matt.
Hey, we could be missing a golden opportunity, huh? Yeah, this is a golden opportunity we could take here.
You animals. All right, D-Rose, let's get to this past weekend's card. Dude, in the main event. Dude, Alex Perez is back, huh? Came out and snoozed Matthias Nicolau. All this time we have done nothing but kind of shit on Alex Perez. But at the same time, dude, he's really only lost to the best guys, and he's going out there and he's kind of taking the dump on all these dudes that we're all picking to beat him, dudes. Maybe I need to change my opinion on Alex Perez, dude. But yeah, anyway, co-main event, the one that lost me the beans altogether was Ryan Spann, Guskov. I really thought Ryan Spann was better than Guskov in every single part of MMA, dude. It's just the IQ is never there. It's like you do what you need to round one, and round two you come out and decide to bang with it, dude. And in Ryan Spann fashion, end up getting chin, dude. Ariane Silva defeats Karine Silva defeats newly named D-Rose. Ariane De Silva, no longer the queen of violence. She's just now the queen, and she kind of looks like it, dude. She didn't look like the queen of violence out there, but Karine Silva is indeed what her name implies, a killer. Anyway, she won via decision. Didn't really take too much from that. Also, Lane got absolutely snoozed. It happened in the second round. I expected it to happen earlier, like in the first round, but not really anything there. Another fight that lost me the pick champ this past weekend was Jonathan Pierce versus David Onama. Close fight. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. I pretty much had all of my money riding on JSP Pierce. I had him in so many bets. Another one that busted my bets this past weekend was Euroshmed snoozing Tim Means in the first. I needed that to start the second round, and not even close. And as far as prelims, my best prediction that I had this whole week, D-Rose, was Victor Henry KO 2-3 at plus 700. So that hit in like all the parlays that I was in, but I'm an idiot and decided to only put like $5 on it straight up. So I won like 35, $40. I don't feel too great about it. So, you know, like, why didn't I just put 10 on it, dude? You know, like
you always second guess yourself, but it's a hit, man. It's a hit.
Yeah. The underdog, Austin Hubbard, comes through with the Michael Figlak decision win. Me and you both called that. Don't bet him. Dontel Mays, Lord Kong gets a 3-round decision win over Caio Machado in a controversial, maybe, decision win. I don't know. That fight was ass either way. It is what it is. Ketlin Souza defeats Mardik Man via 3-round decision. That's pretty much what I expected. The one that saved me from having to eat 3 beans this week, D-Rose, Taco Chris Padilla comes through like one of the biggest underdogs on the card to defeat James Yontop, dude. Once I saw James Yontop had a literal, like, you know, get rich or die trying Uzi tattooed on his face, dude, I was like, shit, dude, I picked against this dude with the Uzi tattooed on his face. Shit. But hey, dude, Taco Chris Padilla comes out there, you know, kept taking down James Yontop, which is my issue with all these Peruvian guys, dude. They may be good boxers and good strikers, but you know, what's their takedown defense looking like? And, you know, my theory will just continue to roll on until I see these Peruvian guys prove themselves a few fights. Hey, don't bet on it. Don't bet on it. And then Ivana Petrovic submits Na Liang, dude. This one kind of busted a lot of my bets because I had this not to start the third round. Ivana subs Na Liang, the Dragon Girl, in the third round, dude. So her fights usually go under 1.5 or, you know, not into the third round, but, you know, it still went under 2.5 if you bet that this weekend. And the first fight of the night, Mahashate defeats Mowgli Gabriel Benitez via decision. And, yeah, that was pretty boring. So anything from the fights as a whole that you want to touch on, I kind of gave my opinions on every single one of them real quick. Anything that you want to touch on from this past weekend, and then I'll get into my bean eating, D-Rose.
Yeah, I do think that was a just starting with the main event. I thought that was a good win for Alex Perez. It was good to see him kind of get back in the win column there, because it had been, I think someone said that it had been since 2020 since he had a win. So I mean, that's kind of rough. That was before the Figgy fight, and obviously, you know, he's lost 3 in a row, and you know, had a bunch of canceled fights, and me even thinking, you know, I think we had said it last week that, you know, coming off the Makayev loss, yeah, he looked good, but he's not. I think he had like 2 or 3 weeks to get ready for this fight, but he's still taking this fight on relatively short notice. And I know that he had just had a camp that's coming off of a loss. and maybe you weren't as ready to take a fight. Not to say that he wasn't in camp, but yeah, for him to take the fight on short notice, to turn around like that, and to knock out a guy like Nicolau, who we know to be a good fighter. And yeah, that was a good win for Perez. And the knockout punch, I mean, that's going to be. I mean, I know Max is going to probably win KO of the year, but if it wasn't for that, I mean, you could make the argument that Perez is going to be right up there in that conversation, because you just don't see flyweights get folded like that. And yeah, Nicolau literally got folded like a cheap tent. It was a beautiful shot. And for Bogdan, yeah, that co-main event, man, I hated to see you lose to Ryan Spann out of all people, but yeah, man, Ryan Spann just doing his thing as he normally does. And sorry, I'm having a little bit of issues with my light back here, trying to stay on back here. But yeah, Ryan Spann, as always, man, coming up short, getting into a firefight. He looked good in the first round. I'm not gonna lie, I was sweating it there for a minute when he had a little bit of ground control on Bogdan, because I was like, oh man, he's gonna end up controlling them and ground and pounding them or submitting them. And yeah, there in that second round, all of a sudden Spann just got tired, got into a firefight with Bogdan, and Bogdan with that uppercut, man. I mean, dude, he looks like he's going to be a problem with that uppercut, because that's the same punch he ended up putting Zach Palgout with too. So, and Ryan Spann joins Max Holloway as the only fighter to go 0-3 against somebody, as Ryan Spann goes 0-3 against Anthony Smith. No. Yes, obviously the Anthony Smith looking like and Bogdan, but no, much different fighters. And yeah, I mean, honestly, that card this past weekend, it was a rough one. I thought Denise looked good too. The heavyweight against Austin Lane. The way that Austin Lane got knocked out was absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry. Like,
dude, every dude, the way he got knocked out versus Greg Hardy made me think Greg Hardy was a good fighter. I was like, damn, dude, because he like snoozed him and he like just fell down.
He like fell and got back up, and then he just like ended up cracking him again. Greg Hardy did. But yeah, that one, I mean, Denise was dude, Austin Lane had good ground control and was smashing Denise in the first round. And then all of a sudden
it almost looked like fucking Spann versus Guskov, dude.
Yeah,
kind of the same fight, dude.
No, it very much did, because I had a bet on Denise, and after that first round, I'm sitting here like rubbing my head. I'm like, dude, why did I bet this guy? I mean, freaking UFC newcomer, like, of course he was going to come in here and get taken down. And then all of a sudden, dude, Austin Lane is just gasping for air. I'm like, dude, are you sick? You beat the shit out of him in the first round, and you're tired? Like, what is this? And yeah, to watch him just crumple and fall and just get flatlined the way it was. Man, I hate to see guys get knocked out, obviously a knockout's fun to see, but you feel bad for the dude on the other end of it. But I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I definitely had a good laugh at watching Austin Lane kind of crumple like a tower just falling over. It was pretty brutal. But yeah, as far as the whole card, yeah, it was okay, but nothing that's going to be memorable.
All right. We've got. I hope they keep Austin Lane around. It's entertaining watching him slump out. Oh goodness. And Joe Garcia, I want to know, with that Perez win, where does that put Mikhaev? I personally don't think Mikhaev won that fight. It was a very close fight. I put them about equal personally. Also saying Mikhaev is super overrated. Dude only wins because of grounded opponent rules. And 36-0 is very okay. We're getting an argument. See above. Yeah, Mikhaev's not the most exciting. He is a good fighter. I would put him relatively on the same level as Alex Perez. I personally thought Alex Perez won that fight. What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as, I guess our overall opinion of Mikhaev, or maybe just in terms of where he's at for the title shot. I mean, I think,
I don't know.
I mean, the win against, the fight was obviously close. With Perez and Mikhaev, obviously, Mikhaev got the win, but I don't think many people would have been mad if Perez did get the win. And that's something that, looks better for Mikhaev going forward. And who knows, if Mikhaev is to get a title fight and maybe he gets a win, that could be maybe more justification for Perez, if he's able to work his way back up as well, maybe they can see each other in a title fight. Who knows? So especially with as weird as this division is right now, we just don't know who's kind of up next at this point.
Yeah, dude. You see, they're all the way having to reach their hand all the way down to 10 to grab a title fight, but we'll get into that for this weekend. It's my turn to eat the beans, D-Rose. I'm not happy. Let's crack a new soda here because I know I'm going to need it.
Yes, I was tired of eating dirty dishwater and boogers and all the other ones, man.
I was able to hold on to this belt for a few weeks, dude, and I was proud of it. I was like, hell yeah, Pick Champ staying over here. Dude, I think ever since I've nailed it down, I've won it, dude. Maybe like 1 week you had it in between there, but I nailed the belt to the back of the chair, so it's easier to just swing off since I'm no longer the Pick Champ, and it's easier to just swing back. I don't have to go find it and shit. But yeah, I nailed it down, and ever since I actually nailed that hoe down, dude, I don't think I had lost it. It was actually kind of wild there. But anyway, our 3 different fights for this past weekend were Ryan Spann, Bogdan Guskov, where I went Ryan Spann, D Rose went the Russian Anthony Smith, Bogdan Guskov. Our second different fight was oh wow, I'm on the main card in the prelims. Our second different fight was David Onama versus Jonathan JSP Pierce, where I went JSP and D Rose went David Onama. In our last fight, third and final different fight was James Yontop versus Chris Padilla, where I took the huge dog in Taco Chris Padilla, and D Rose went James Yontop. So D Rose, our different picks this week were all dogs, and all the dogs won, dude. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should have thrown a well, no, I was going to go Gabriel Benitez, but yeah, that was the one dog I did exclude, and thank goodness I did.
Dude, how crazy is that? Like, my dog won and your 2 dogs won, but D Rose is the new Pick Champ this week. That means I get to eat Bean Boozled. Not looking forward to it this week, D Rose. Got to be honest, I don't feel good about this one. Let's see. Dude, there's a lot of blue ones left in here. I'm happy at that. I could have got 2 blue ones right now, but I decided not to. I got a blue one and because 2 blue ones and a red one fucking came out. Imagine I get a blueberry and a fucking toothpaste one. Like, oh, that's rough, dude. Oh no, my old nemesis is back, D-Rose. You see this? You see this red one, dude?
That old bandage.
That old bandage could possibly be here.
Long time no see.
All right. So I have a blue one and a red one here. The red one is either old bandage or pomegranate, and the blue one is either blueberry or toothpaste. The blue one's not bad either way, in my personal opinion. It's actually pretty pleasant when you eat something that tastes terrible. So please be pomegranate. Please be pomegranate.
That one never fails for you, dude.
Dude, it's so fucking nasty. I wish, like, you don't, D Rose. You have to search. I don't want to tell you have to search through your fucking red jelly beans so you can you can taste one, dude. But the day that you get this one, dude, it is unmistakable. It's like you took fucking, what is that shit? The fucking sports tape, dude, and like used it for an entire football game and then just chewed on it, dude. That's exactly what it tastes like, dude. It's so bad.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that one seems to get
I hope this
even
one's
out of all the
toothpaste.
nasty ones.
That one's blueberry. I actually wish it was toothpaste.
Damn, man. That's a that's a good one to end on though. But man, that old bandage, that one seems to get you. That one always sneak attacks you, man.
Not fun, dude. My eyes start watering and shit like that. I'm gagging. Anyway, I hope you guys
Yeah,
enjoyed
no,
that episode.
that old band. One thing I can say, I've had like the dead fish and stink bug and dirty dishwater, but yeah, nah, that old bandage, I managed to escape it so far. I did eat a pomegranate last time, so next time I grab a red, I'm going to be sweating a little bit.
Oh yeah, maybe. All right. Let me catch up on the chat. Lick it, man. Just also says just swallow it without chewing it. You can amend the rules for next week when D-Rose has to do it. Nah. I'm going to eat them like a man.
Doing it again.
I'm not going to switch them out like D-Rose. If I can switch them out and somehow always gets good beans, you know. And he's like, ew. Like, bro, if that's a bad bean, that shit's gotta taste worse than that. I know that shit tastes bad. You know?
Hell no. Not at all.
What are we talking about here? OnlyFans still? Beans? All right. What I learned in grade school. It smells like fish and tastes like chicken. So fucking, oh my goodness. Oh goodness. They all hold water upside down. Pomegranate? Unfortunately not, Tim. That was not pomegranate. Matt has the absolute worst luck in this game, but he keeps on going champion mindset. You know, I just tell myself, like, you know what? It's not going to be bad. That one scared me because I saw the red one and I knew what the red one could taste like. I'm like, fuck, dude. Because I feel like in that box, dude, I've had 3 red ones now. And they've all been bad, right? I think like the first 2 weeks I had it, I got old bandage like the first 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
yeah, you did. So yeah, you would think you got to get a pomegranate out of there at some point. Which, like I said, I grabbed the pomegranate last time, so if I end up grabbing the red next time, I'm sweating bullets, man.
Man, was Peloton trolling? I personally think so. I don't think he's going to be fighting on 301. How about you, D-Rose?
No. If that was the case, I think they would have already. I think they would have already announced it by now. So yeah, you don't want to try to mislead the public this close to the pay-per-view night.
All right. With that being said, the beans are done. Still not a good taste.
Got a little bit of remnants left.
Ooh, that burned my nose. Just now burped up out of my nose. Not cool. I do apologize.
Now you got old bandage in your nose.
Well, actually, that would actually taste like blueberry. I was able to get the old bandage out of my mouth for the majority of the part, but it's all chewed up. So but it's still on my teeth a little bit. Anyway, let's get into the UFC news and fight announcements. D-Rose, I know you're excited for this one, and we have some news about a fighter this past weekend. I don't know if you saw it or not, but we'll get into it, dude. My glasses are wet. I think my tears got on my glasses, dude. I'm like, what is that on my shit? All right, there we go. Am I sharing? I am sharing indeed. We do have the return of Dominic, the devastated Chin Reyes. That's what I was going for. He is going to be taking on Dustin Jacoby, and that is going to be on the Louisville card June 8th. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, that's in terms of just how they match up, it's a good fight. But man, that's we've seen how Dominic Reyes has looked at his last few fights, and unfortunately now he's to the point where, I mean, yeah, Ryan Spann hits like a truck, but yeah, we're starting to question if Dominic Reyes is chinny now. And yeah, Dustin Jacoby, I mean, he's sneaky with his power, man, but he can put you out. I mean, you saw how he was able to put away Kennedy and Zescu, with just a couple of short punches. So yeah, that's a good fight, but I think Dustin Jacoby is probably going to be a significant favorite going into it.
We are also saying praying for a Reyes win. Guy needs it more than anyone else in the UFC, even more than Tony. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, like you and Lush might have to talk about that one. But dude, like fucking Reyes hasn't won since the John Jones, since before the John Jones fight, dude. That's literally the last time that he won. It was when he knocked out Chris Weidman, right?
Yeah, that was the last time, and man, it's crazy because of course John Jones won that fight, but dude, you could very well make the argument that Dominic Reyes won the first 3 rounds in that fight and won that fight. And it's just crazy to think that he came from there. John Jones vacates the belt. Dominic Reyes gets a fight against Jan Blachowicz, and we're like, oh man, yeah, here he goes. He's going to go in and be the UFC champion. And now he's at this point to where, he hasn't even been able to get a win since then. And we thought he was going to become the champ at one point in time. So it's just crazy the fall from grace that he's had.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely crazy, dude. So up next, we do have your guy, dude. Sumu Darji is out, and Tatsuro Taira is now going to step in to face Joshua Van at UFC 302, June 1st. What's your thoughts on that, man? Because UFC usually wants to, keep their prospects, fighting a good path, dude. And Tatsuro Taira is still young, dude. Josh Van is going to be a very, very tough test for Tatsuro Taira. So give me your thoughts on this fight.
Yeah, this is a super interesting fight. And like you said, prospects getting matched up this early on. The UFC tends to avoid that a little bit, but you have noticed it as of lately. I still think Tony definitely needs to win much worse than worse than Dominic Reyes. But no, I think for this fight in specific, this fight it's a great fight, stylistically. I mean, I think Josh Van, he gets taken down sometimes, but he's real good about getting back up and good boxing. Obviously, we know Tatsuro Taira is good with the takedowns, got great submissions once he gets you there. Good with the scrambles as well, but man, that's an interesting fight, and I'm a fan of Josh Van as well, so I'm gonna be interested to see when this fight happens. And I would imagine Tatsuro Taira is gonna be the favorite, but man, I wouldn't mind.
If he is, Josh Van's got to get some of my money, dude.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be leaning toward Josh Van if that's the case when that fight comes. So, but that should be a good fight.
Yeah, I am interested in that when it comes around as well. Next pay-per-view, dude. We've got Haley Cowan out. Tamaris Vidal is going to face Melissa Gatto. Dude, they have to be. I'm pretty sure the featherweight is completely gone now because in the past month now, I haven't even seen one women's featherweight fight scheduled. And they got Kayla Harrison at fucking 135. There ain't going to be no more featherweight fights. They got Tamaris Vidal fighting at featherweight, going to be taking on Melissa Gatto. You care about this one at all, Deros?
So this is the featherweight?
Bantamweight.
Or bantamweight. Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought I saw it be there, but yeah, no, I don't care about the fight.
All right, we'll move along then. We've got Jared, the Killer Gorilla Cannonier, taking on Nasruddin Imavov. So it looks like no Jared Cannonier versus Nick Diaz-Lush. It looks like he is going to be taking on Nasruddin Imavov. Going to be headlining Louisville July 8th. So right next to you, D-Rose, about 5 hours. What was that? West of you, right? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this fight headlining Louisville?
Dude, that's a super interesting fight. It's interesting that it's the headliner. I'm surprised that Nasruddin got a main event, and I know Jared Cannonier, I believe he's coming off like a torn ACL or something like that. I believe that's what's kept him out so long. So, good to see him back, and yeah, still coming off that Marvin Vettori win that he had, dude, he looked like an absolute brutalizer. And he has the win against Sean Strickland as well. So I mean, his wins are starting to look better as they go. And with the state of this division right now, who knows what could happen next? And if he's able to get a win here in a main event spot, especially if he's to get a good win as well, you can see Jared Cannonier potentially back in a title fight. So I think there could be a lot more stakes to that fight than what we might think.
Fair enough. So yeah, interesting fight. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I never think Nasruddin looks good over 5. That's the thing. Like 5 rounds for Nasruddin, I just feel like he's gonna gas at some point.
If I'm being honest, if it was 3 rounds, I would probably be leaning more towards Nasruddin. But knowing that it's 5, and we've seen Jared Cannonier go 5 plenty of times against one of the former champs and Marvin Vettori, yeah, we've seen him in a tough fight, and we've seen him in a one-way ass whooping in a 5-round fight, and he's been able to stand the test. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to go in Jared Cannonier's favor.
Yeah, I agree. Up next, we do have Ricky Simone taking on Vinicius Oliveira, dude. UFC 303. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. It seems like a quick jump up for Vinicius Oliveira, dude.
A little
look at
bit, yeah.
Ricky Simone, dude. He is like break the hell up, dude. Like that is, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, it feels like it's a little bit of a quick jump, but man, if Vinicius Oliveira is able to go in there and get a good win against somebody like Ricky Simone, he's going to be shooting towards the top. I think he can't look back from there. He's only going to be looking at fighting, top 15 guys from here on out. So feels like it's a little bit of a quick jump for him though. Ricky Simone, we know he's well tested.
Dude, fucking Loke Dog might fucking come in there and be like, do we have a problem with the fucking rocket launcher? Yeah. It for sure is a big jump up for fucking Loke Dog. I do agree. Getting into the results for this past weekend, dude. I love that name, Loke Dog. It just reminds me of Don't Be a Mr. South Central so much, dude.
And speaking of, since we're going past this, dude, this fight in particular. How bad was that stoppage in the Bogdan and Ryan Spann fight? Considering,
dude, he let him get hit a lot on the ground,
dude. I mean, Herb Dean, we know that he's been bad, but dude, that was awful. I mean, Ryan Spann was out, and was literally just getting punched while he was out. Like that was crazy that Herb Dean did not stop that fight sooner. That was a terrible stoppage.
Yeah, I agree. I've said it before. Nick v. Tony is the only match to make. They're going to bring Nick back. Oh shit! If nothing else, something for the fans. Hell yeah. This Mac 10s with sneakers, or the Uzi with the bunny slippers. It's hilarious, dude. I love that movie. I've got inside info and they can get a solid answer who's going to be fighting. If any word, I'll let you guys know. But he is fighting soon. Oh, shit, D-Rose. You hear that? Anyway, our next fight announcement is going to be Miles Johns taking on Douglas DeAndrade De Silva, I believe is his name, or some shit like that. The dude's got like 40 names. Anyway, do you care about this one at all? Like, we haven't seen Douglas in quite a bit.
Yeah, he's only kind of seemed like he's been in a groove where he's only fighting about like once a year. But I mean, the dude looks like he still doesn't age and is bricked up as can be as always. So you're just going to see two big muscle houses in there. Fighting against one another with him and Miles Johns, because Miles Johns is, he's pretty bricked up too, and he's a powerhouse just in terms of him just standing there throwing big punches, and De Silva could do the same. So, or Douglas Silva, DeAndrade, whatever the hell his name is. We've seen DeAndrade, getting wars, and Miles Johns can throw big punches, so that should be a good fight.
Indeed. We'll move on to the next one. And here he is, dude, making the quick turnaround. Alex Perez versus Tagir Ulanbekov, rebooked for UFC Vegas 93 on June 15th, dude. So making the quick turnaround. Alex Perez staying busy, making up for all the time he didn't fight, all those canceled fights that he had, D-Rose.
So I actually heard him in an interview, and he actually said that, so this fight was actually, he had the contract signed for this fight before he took the Mateus Nicolau fight. He took the Mateus Nicolau fight. Of course, he got the call short notice to take the fight against Nicolau, took that fight, won it, and the UFC asked him, hey, do you want to still keep that Tagir Ulanbekov fight going? And he said, hell yeah. So, like, that is just absolutely, like, a badass mindset for him to, like, take a fight in between a fight that he already knows he has coming up and still, come up with a win against Nicolau and didn't even blink in terms of, just still keeping this opportunity with Ulanbekov. So just a badass mindset from Alex Perez and not an easy fight either. So, a tough fight that he's willing to step up and take just after he got a pretty big win. I mean, that says a lot about him.
Indeed, man. Kind of making me a Alex Perez fan. I've notoriously been an Alex Perez hater, dude. But how can you not like the guy? Turn around, getting these fucking knockout wins and shit like he's getting, dude. Hell yeah, let's go Alex Perez. Anyway, I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on there. That's the dude that got bit, though. I do know that. So the dude that got bit will now face a name that I'm not even going to try to say, dude. Do you see that one?
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, Brendan. Oh no, UFC 302. So yeah, John Anik's gonna. John Anik always. John Anik always nails it, but man, yeah, that's gonna be one that he's gonna have to study a long ass time for that one.
Jesus, I'm never gonna try that one. Yeah, that'll be UFC 302. I'll have to wait for that name pronunciation to come around. Anyway, we've got Kurt Holloway taking on Kainan Kwiatkowski. That's going to be UFC Vegas 94, July 20th. You care about that one at all, D-Rose?
Kurt Holloway, yeah. We know about him coming off the Ultimate Fighter and everything, but yeah, not super interested in this fight.
All right, fair enough. How about this one where we got Lucas Almeida taking on Timmy Kumba, added to UFC Vegas 93, June 15th.
Yeah, Lucas Almeida is always a go-getter. So yeah, I he's kind of one of those, he's kill or be killed type guy. So yeah, that should be a fun fight. I'm gonna have to remember. I can't remember Kumba off the top of my head, but
I think he's only fought once earlier this year, and that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the name sounds familiar. I just can't recall his fight that he had, but yeah, good fight.
Yeah. All right. And that's the last one that we have, D-Rose. So no more news, no more fight announcements for this week. So we can move on into pretty much what I expect most people listen to Picks News Podcast for their picks for this upcoming weekend's fights is UFC 301 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, if you ask the Brazilians. We've got Alexandre Pantoja taking on the cannibal Alexandre Pantoja taking on Astro Boy Steve Erceg. Me and D-Rose are going to give you our preview and our picks. I don't have any bets yet. I'll probably let you know what I'm going to be betting. I'm sure D-Rose will as well. And we've got the loyal Lush Lomain getting ready to take the notes. We appreciate you, Lush. You are that guy, man. He fought Lawler on 3 weeks' notice, did him dirty. I got training videos. He's going to fuck someone up. Watch. Lush is very confident in some Nick Diaz. I am ready for it. Nick looks good in a lot of stuff I've seen on the internet. I hope you're right, Lush. All right. He is ready. All right, D-Rose. So let's get into preview picks for this weekend, which we have. Let me get all these damn ads off the screen before I share it, because y'all know how I love those. Anyway, take the sound off. So, boom. We are here.
You love the ads.
On tap, dude, my favorite. Anyway, we are here for this weekend. UFC 301, Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg, happening Saturday, May 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the prelim starts. It is going to be taking place at the Giannissi Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. We have 14 fights taking place, and we are headlined by the flyweight title of the world. Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja taking on Astro Boy Steve Erceg. In the co-main event, we have are you ready for this, D-Rose? I'm going to do it on purpose so I can get it out of the way. I'm going to go the Jonathan, the Dragon Martinez. Let's go ahead and get the mess up out of the way. And let's say Jonathan, the Dragon Martinez, going to be taking on the King of Rio. Jose Aldo has came out of retirement for this paycheck against Jonathan Martinez in Brazil. And yeah, we'll see how it goes this weekend. In our feature fight, we've got back-to-back Anthony Smith fight weeks, as this week he's going to be taking on Vitor Petrino after last week fighting Ryan Spann. So we've got Anthony Lionheart Smith taking on Vitor Petrino. We've got Demolador Michel Pereira taking on Ihor Peteria, dude. What a interesting fight. The Duelist versus Demolador. Yeah, dude. Someone that fought up at 205 and someone that fought down at 170. They're going to be fighting at 185. Interesting fight, dude. We've got the Bear Jew Paul Craig taking on the Natural Caio Bahayo. We've got Joe Anderson Britu taking on Jack Tank Shore. Holy shit, dude. We've got the return of Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I thought she retired a few times now, dude, but she's apparently still fighting, dude. But this one isn't as easy of a fight as she is going to be taking on Yasmin Lucindo this weekend. We do have Elvis Brenner taking on Miktabik Orabai. Dude, it's funny because that was a joke when I was like, how do you even say this? Miktabik? And it's the way it's actually said is Miktabek. So I was pretty close, dude. We've got Miktabik Orabai taking on Elvis Brenner there. We've got Gene Silva taking on William Gomi. We've got Joaquim Neto BJJ taking on Drakkar Close. We've got Marcio Rufi or Hoofy taking on Jamie Malarkey. That's going to be a fun one. We've got Dione Barboza taking on Ernesta Karaskati. We've got Ismail Bonfim taking on Vince from Hell Pichel. And as his name implies, he is from Hell, as where Ismail Bonfim is from Brazil. And we've got Alessandro Costa taking on Kevin Borjas in the opening fight of the night, dude. My guy, Alessandro Costa, going to be opening up the card against Kevin Borjas. Anyway, what's your thoughts on the card as a whole, D-Rose, before we start talking about them?
Just going to be honest, not good. Yeah, not good, especially on a scale of what, we were kind of talking about in the private messages earlier, but, the UFC expecting us to pay, $80, coming off of UFC 300. I mean, I still think I still got a little bit of a hangover from UFC 300. And you're telling me UFC 301 is going to be headlined by Steve Erceg and Alexander Pantoja. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, look, that's a fun fight, but a headliner for a pay-per-view. I mean, I know you got Jose Aldo coming back, but man, you can't have three like minus 500 and above favorites on a pay-per-view card and be like, man, this is a really stacked card. They're like, no, it just looks like it's a showcase for Brazil, pretty much. And Brazil fans, I can understand being happy, but yeah, this is every bit of D for me as far as a grade goes.
I agree, man. I agree. Definitely not the best pay-per-view. I'm glad you pulled up odds. I mean, I'm glad you brought up odds so I could go ahead and get them pulled up before we start talking about them because I'm terrible at doing that. Anyway, should have booked Pereira. Yeah, they should have, but I mean, with all the broken toes right now, I don't know if he could fight it. Who would he fight, really,
No, but the problem was it was supposed to be Pereira versus Hill on this card to begin with. Yeah, it was supposed to be Pereira versus Hill, but then they were like, oh, we need a headliner for UFC 300. Dude, if Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje was the main event for UFC 300, who would have been mad about that? Like, nobody would have been mad. It would have been a great night, a great end to the night. We wouldn't have had 3 title fights to have the damn card go on to 1:30 in the morning, even though it was awesome, but it went on way too late. Yeah, you could have just saved Pereira and Hill for this one, and I think people would be more excited. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and I think, like Lush asking, aren't they using the new gloves this Saturday? I believe they are using the new gloves this Saturday, so that'll be something to look forward to. So the new, the new gold gloves will be showcased in the flyweight championship this weekend. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's interesting to see, I guess, as far as something about this card. the new gloves being introduced.
One of the very few interesting aspects of this card, that's for sure.
Anyway, so we will start here, D-Rose, with my guy, Alessandro Costa. If we can get the bounty commercial out of the way, we've got we've got Alessandro Costa taking on or Alessandro Nono Costa taking on El Gato Negro, translates to the Black Cock in Kevin Borjas this week. What a name, D-Rose. What a name. Anyway.
Original, at least. At least it's original.
Like you're like, well, hey, that's what my fight name would probably be.
Yeah. Very. It'd be one for sure, but now Kevin Borjas has it, so I'd have to come at a different angle.
Yeah. Anyway, this weekend, no, Alessandro Costa is 13-4-0, and out of his last 5 fights, only 3 of them took place in the UFC, where he lost to Amir Albazi in the 3rd round via ground and pound, knocked out Jimmy Flick, and then lost to Steve Erceg via decision. So his 2 losses are against Amir Albazi on super short notice, and the guy that's literally fighting this weekend for the championship. On the other hand, Kevin Borjas only had 1 fight in the UFC, and he lost to Josh Van. But us knowing who Josh Van is now, that's not the worst loss in the world, D-Rose. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 156 for Alessandro Costa and plus 122 for Kevin Borjas. Where are we at? We've got Alessandro Costa from Brazil, 28 years old, 5'4", and a 67-inch reach. While we have a Peruvian, once again, D-Rose, Kevin Borjas, 26 years old, 5'5", and a 68-inch reach. And every time he fights, I love to bring it up. It is a picture of all 3 of us, myself, Diego Lopez, and Alessandro Costa. But the guy for 125, he's a pretty big guy, D-Rose. Like, he's pretty jacked, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at his neck, dude. I mean, look how wide his neck is, almost as wide as his head. Like, yeah, I know that dude's, physically built, dude. Like, yeah, he's a brick house.
Yeah, Jack, dude. And I said it last week. These Peruvian prospects don't tend to. I shouldn't think they're really good until I see them fight in the UFC a few times. And him fighting Josh Van in his last fight, who is also a fellow striker. I don't think this exposed Kevin Borjas' holes, if he has any holes in his ground game there. On the other hand, Alessandro Costa's last few fights were in his last 3 fights were against all 3 people that were pretty solid on the ground, being Amir Albazi. Fucking Jimmy Flick's pretty solid on the ground too. That's his thing, but he also knocked out him too. And then fucking Steve Erceg is also black belt on the ground, really good, and also fighting this weekend for a championship. So we haven't seen too much of Alessandro Costa's ground game in the UFC, and I think so. This is where we see it at this weekend. I think Alessandro gets Kevin Borjas down, and we get an Alessandro Costa submission this weekend. So give me Alessandro Costa via submission. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, super close fight, and as you said, the odds has it pretty close as well. And actually Kevin Borjas, I actually remember him from when he fought on the November 11th card. We did the live stream for the Pereira and Yuri card. It was that same card. I remember we were talking about Borjas and Josh Van, and I remember you were telling me how good Kevin Borjas' boxing was, and you were excited to see him, and that ended up being a good fight. But Josh Van came out at the end with the win. I think one of the things Josh Van was able to do in that fight was able to kind of use his pressure, kind of later on as the fight went, to kind of wear on Kevin Borjas. I think with his boxing and his pressure, he was able to keep Borjas on his back foot. But I think, as you said, Costa, he's known to have good groundwork. Diego Lopez is his jiu-jitsu coach, so we know that he has obviously good training in jiu-jitsu. But we just, as you said, we just haven't seen much of his takedown game. I know Steve Erceg has good takedown defense, and as you said, good jiu-jitsu as well. But I guess maybe we just haven't seen it yet, and he's just capable of going out for all these takedowns. But I'm not necessarily sure about that, man. And if he's not able to get the takedowns, although he does have good power shots, I just don't know if he's the cleaner striker than Kevin Borjas is. So I'm kind of feeling the dog here, man. I want to go Kevin Borjas here. I think he's going to win by decision. I think Costa, he's very tough, so I don't think it's going to be an easy fight by any means. But yeah, I think Kevin Borjas is just going to be the cleaner striker. I think that's what it's going to come down to at the end, and I think Borjas gets win.
All right, so we have our first different pick this weekend, going to be Kevin Borjas versus Alessandro Costa, where I'm going Alessandro Costa, D-Rose on Kevin Borjas. Lush saying Borjas has a good ground game and nasty striking. Lush, call him by his real name, please. We got Derek Jufre saying Costa, first round stoppage. Could happen. That guy is a little tank. So up next, we do have the return of the Bonfim brother. We've got Ismail Maheta Bonfim taking on Vince from Hell Pichel. Ismail Bonfim is 19-4 overall, won 4 of his last 5, but only 2 of them were in the UFC. Terrence McKinney knockout, and then a BSD rear naked choke. So kind of hard to get a feel for what this guy is. He can beat Terrence McKinney, but lost to Benoit Saint Denis, dude. I mean, that's literally most of the roster at 155, dude. It's like Jesus. If you're UFC level, that'll probably be what happens. Anyway. On the other hand, Vince from Hell Pichel is 14-3 overall, and of his last 5 fights, going back damn near 6 years ago for his last 5 fights, he is 2-3 with a win coming almost 3 years ago against Austin Hubbard via decision. But 2 years ago, he lost to Mark Madsen via decision. Anyway, currently odds for this fight are minus 520 Ismail Bonfim and plus 350 Vince Pichel. Ismail Bonfim from Brazil, 28 years old, 5'8" and a 71-inch reach, while Vince Pichel is from Hell. He is 41 years old, 5'10" and a 72-inch reach. D-Rose, give me Ismail Bonfim to send Vince back where he came from to Hell this weekend. Give me Ismail Bonfim to probably knock out Vince Pichel in the first round. What's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, I think Vince Pichel, he's very tough, but as you said, 41 years old now, so I just don't know, how much of him that we're going to get in terms of, that old dog that, we've seen from him in the past. And, I think the only thing for Bonfim, the only thing that's going to be a little bit, I'm going to have a question for, because 5'8" might be questionable. I mean, that dude might be 5'7". Like, especially in that BSD fight, like, dude, I remember when, obviously, I bring it up all the time, but, we were both saying BSD was a live dog in that fight. We picked Bonfim, but was like, dude, Bonfim should not be this much of a favorite. And then watching them size up against one another when they faced off, like, I was like, dude, BSD looks like he is coming from 170, and Bonfim looks like he's moving up from 145 to take this fight. Bonfim looks like he should be every bit of Ismail Bonfim looks like he should be every bit of a featherweight right now. I mean, that's how small the guy looks, but super explosive. He's got good boxing. We know their jiu-jitsu background, but he won in a striking battle against Terrence McKinney. So, I got to give him credit there because we know how potent Terrence McKinney can be. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Ismail Bonfim here. And but yeah, I think look out for that size difference in the face-offs, and seeing if you think that Ismail might be able to fight a featherweight, because I definitely think so.
I think he probably could, just how he fucking sized up against T-Rex, but that's just me. But you said you're on Bonfim this week?
Yeah, I think by knockout as well.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Ismail Bonfim this weekend. All right, so we will move on to the next one, which is this is our piss break fight. If you need to do something, feel free to do it in this fight where we have Dione Barboza taking on Ernesta Karasketi. The witch Diana Barboza is 6-2 overall, and Olay Body Moisturizer is in the way right now. And then heavy-handed Ernesta Karasketi is 5-0-1, D-Rose. Neither one of these girls have fought in the UFC before.
Both off Contender Series, but
Barboza coming off Contender Series, and Karasketi also coming off the Contender Series. Currently odds for this fight are minus 235 for Diana Barboza and plus 180 for Ernesta Karasketi, dude. Barboza is from Brazil, so keep that in mind. In Brazil this weekend, 31 years old, 5'6" and a 66-inch reach, while Karasketi is from Lithuania, 25 years old, 5'9" and a 71-inch reach. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Give me the dog on the women's MMA fight because I like to pick the dogs, and she's the taller woman, got the longer reach, and Lithuanian striker, so I don't mind those. So give me Karaskady to win this fight via decision. Might be a robbery in Brazil, could go the other way, and I could look like an idiot, but I'll take the dog shot. What's your thoughts here, D-Rose?
Yeah, as you said, not super familiar with either lady, so I'm not going to act like I want to give this deep, in-depth breakdown. I just think this is going to be more of a showcase for Brazil, and as you said, the Lithuanian striker. But I wonder where her ground game is going to be. Dione Barboza does look like she has a few subs in her game, and if she's able to get the fight down to the ground, how does Karaskady look off her back? So. Yeah, I want to be curious to see how that goes, but I want to go Barboza, and I'll probably pick my submission as well.
All right, fair enough. Second different pick of the night. I'm going Karaskady. D-Rose going Dione Barboza. You might have to eat beans because of that fight, D-Rose. How does that make you feel?
Hey, we're
different ones.
Still early on.
Yeah,
we're
five
still
different ones. So we got a pay-per-view this weekend.
Yep, we got to keep rolling. We got plenty more to go.
All right. So up next we have Mauricio Hufi taking on Jamie Mullarkey. So one shot. Mauricio Hufi is 9-1 overall, while Jamie Mullarkey is 17-7. Hufi's last 5 fights, he is 4-1, but coming off of the Contender Series, as where Jamie Mullarkey's last 5 fights have taken place in the last 2 years, all in the UFC, and this is what really throws me off, dude. This getting knocked out by Nasrat Haqparast, not a good look. Currently odds for this fight -205 for Mauricio Hufi, as Jamie Mullarkey is +158. Hufi from Brazil, 30 years old, 5'11" and 75-inch reach, while Jamie Mullarkey is from Australia, 29 years old. Dude, what? He's only 29, dude. He's taking way too much damage for 29. Anyway, 6 foot and a 74-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to tell you, Jamie Mullarkey is going to be winning every part of this fight until this happens right here. I don't know, like if you were able to see what I highlighted, but I highlighted the name One Shot. I believe Jamie Mullarkey is going to be winning every part of this fight, dude, until probably some point in the second or the third round, dude. Hufi, dude, has got decent range boxing, dude, and he's just going to drop one of the straights on him, dude, and it's going to just snooze Jamie Mullarkey. So give me Mauricio Hufi to win this fight via knockout, probably later rounds, second or third, in my opinion. What's your thoughts here, man?
That's the only thing that, because I want to go Hufi, Roofy, Toofy, whatever. Yeah, I want to go him, man, but gosh, he is a kill or be killed all-star, because he is literally 9-1, and all of his wins and losses are by knockout. So he is not going in there to fuck around. Like, he is going there to take your life, or you're going to take his. Jamie Mullarkey, we've seen him, go 3 rounds plenty of times. He's otherworldly tough, but man, he just has such bad head movement. Like, he has the worst head movement ever, to where, as you said, Nasrat Haqparast was able to knock him out.
Who's got worse head movement, Amanda Hebus or Jamie Mullarkey?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. That's man. If they're in the 100-meter dash, like that's a photo finish, because that is razor thin on who's going to have the edge there. Because man, they're both top tier head stillers, because they are not moving their head at all and just eating damage, dude. So yeah, that's the only thing that has me a little bit hesitant about Jamie Mullarkey, but yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Let's go, Jamie Mullarkey. I'm gonna go for the dog, man. Again, if he does not get finished early, I think he can take over the fight late, maybe with some takedowns and stuff as well. So I think Jamie Mullarkey tries to slow the fight down a little bit. Let's go, Jamie Mullarkey here.
All right. Already our third different pick, dude. I'm on Mauricio Hufi. D-Rose is on Jamie Malarkey. So we'll move on to the next one, dude, which is Neto BJJ Joaquim Silva taking on Drakkar Klose, dude. And before we get into this, I feel like Alex Perez, dude, I wrote Drakkar Klose off as this dude that was just chinny and a bum. And dude, I've picked against him every time, and he's just came out and proved me wrong, dude. I believe his only loss in the UFC is the Beneil Dariush, dude. That's the crazy part. Yeah, I just think that happened in like the Jeremy fucking Stevens, like the push thing happened and he pulled out of that fight. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Bad.
Yeah,
that hurt him reputationally very bad because it took him a long time to recover from that because so many people clowned him.
Yeah. So I just think maybe I just haven't gave Drakkar Klose his fair shake. So let's get into this fight. Joaquim Silva is 13-4 overall out of his last 5 fights. All 5 of them have taken place in the UFC, believe it or not. I just feel like I don't remember him before the Ricky Glenn fight, to be honest. This is what I remember him on. I don't remember him from 5 years ago. So he didn't fight for 3 years here. So that's probably why I don't remember. Anyway, out of his last 5 fights, he has won 2 and lost 3. Wins against Clay Guida that he could not submit, and his name is Neto BJJ somehow. And then he knocked out Jesse Ronson, which isn't saying a whole lot in between there. Knocked down Arman Saryukian, but ended up getting TKO, ground and pound finish later on in the fight. Drakkar Klose's last 5 fights were Joe Selecki slam win 4 months ago, which was kind of brutal. 2 slams happened right in a row. It was odd. A Rafa Garcia decision win almost 2 years ago, and Brandon Jenkins knocked him out literally 2 years ago, but that wasn't even close. And before that, lost to Benny D. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 148 for Joaquim Silva, minus 192 for Drakkar Klose. I was maybe hoping that Klose would be the dog here, but looks like not. Neto BJJ is from Brazil, 35 years old, 5'8", and a 69-inch reach, while Drakkar Klose is America, baby, from Glendale, Arizona. 36 years old himself, though. 5'9" and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't think I've ever picked Drakkar Klose to win a UFC fight on the podcast, but I think he probably wins this fight, dude. I just think being only losing to Benny, dude, I need to give him his credit. And in all the fights that he's been in, he's looked good, dude. And then looking at Neto BJJ, I maybe picked him to win certain fights, and he has won the fights. It's just, man, he hasn't. I don't like that you can't submit Clay Guida that's got submitted 100 times, dude. So going to be a first here on the podcast. Give me Drakkar Klose to win this fight via decision. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet here. Yeah, I think. Wow, why did I just completely blank on the names right here?
We got Joaquim Silva.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I just blanked on that for a second. Yeah, Drakkar Klose here. Yeah, I think probably going to be a unanimous decision here. I think he's just got the cleaner boxing. I think, in terms of the wrestling, Joaquim Silva can maybe, contest in the wrestling a little bit. But, yeah, we know Drakkar Klose to have good defense, and I'm going to assume that he's going to have good scrambles as well, having the wrestling background that he does. And he has good cardio as well. So, yeah, I just think in all aspects, I think that Drakkar Klose is the better fighter. And, I think he gets it done. Let's say by decision here.
All right. Me and you both on Drakkar Klose via decision this weekend. So we'll move on to the next one, which is Jean Lord Assassin Silva taking on William Jaguar Gomi, dude. So if you don't know, Gene Silva likes to bark at his opponents mid-fight, dude. It's quite entertaining as well. Jaguar William Gomi, on the other hand, likes to run away from his opponents the entire time. So what an odd fight we have here with these two. This is a clash of styles almost, but both fighters are strikers, as where one walks forward to engage nonstop and the other one kind of is a strictly point fighter. And aside from his last fight with this bullshit body kick nut shot finish, dude, yeah, that was a nut shot, and he got a TKO body kick for it. It was in France, but that's his only finish ever, I believe, and I don't think he's finishing anyone. Going to be an interesting fight, man. Hard to judge, personally, in my opinion. Currently odds for this fight, -130, Gene Silva, +102 for William Gomi here. We got the Brazilian Gene Silva, 27 years old, 5'7", and a 69-inch reach, fighting out of the Fighting Nerds. While William Gomi is from France, 26 years old, 6 foot, and a 73-inch reach. Once again, fighting on the MMA factory in France. Yeah. This one's tough, D-Rose. I'm going to let you break this one down first, man. Go for it. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting fight, and yeah, Gomi, he's looked good in his last few fights, and as you said, I know the last fight, you could very well question the win, but just in terms of how he looked, I think he's looked well in his fights, and Gene Silva, kind of one of those younger dudes coming off of the Contender Series. Obviously, the fights in Brazil as well. Want to have he's going to have the crowd behind him per se, but man, I actually think I like this line on William Gomi here, man. I like he has a reach advantage, he has a height advantage. To me, I know that they're both strikers, but I'm going to say that I think William Gomi, Gene Silva has more power in his shots, but I think William Gomi is just a more cleaner and technical striker of the two. As you said, keeps his footwork on the outside, likes to use his range. And yeah, I think as long as he keeps the fight on the outside, we saw him defend takedowns against guys like Francis Marshall and stuff like that as well. So we know that he's well tested in the UFC at this point. So yeah, I'm going to go William Gomi here. Let's go. Maybe third round finish or a decision here. But yeah, I'm going to go William Gomi for the dog.
All right. Speaking of dogs, I'm be going. I can't go against a guy that's gonna bark at you while he's fighting you, dude. So give me Gene Silva. Same way as you, dude. Round 3 or decision. I think he finishes William Gomi in the 3rd round, or he wins via decision. Just doing more damage. Hopefully, we get some Brazilian judges on our side this weekend, giving us a Gene Silva dub. Yeah, so we've already had a lot of different picks. I've lost count. I believe that was the 4th one. Yeah, I am on Gene Silva, and D Rose is on William Gomi this weekend. So wow, we've got a few different ones, D Rose. We've got a few different ones. You're trying to make me not pick on certain ones, but it's gonna happen, dude. Up next, we've got Elvis Brenner taking on Miktabik Orabai. And we also have a Honda commercial here as well. Get off my screen. Anyway, Elvis Brenner is 16-3 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 5-0, and 3 of them took place in the UFC with a split decision win over Zabira Tukugov, a Guram Kutataladze comeback win from hell, and then absolutely killed Kainan Krzyzewski 5 months ago, dude. I thought we witnessed the murder in the octagon. Anyway, Miktabik Orabai, he's only had 1 fight in the UFC. Up at 170, dude, where he neck cranked Euro Schmedic, dude. And seeing Euro Schmedic up at 170, knowing this dude fights down at 155, dude, you're like, holy fuck, dude. What is this dude going to look like down at 155? Anyway, let's get into it. Currently, odds for this fight are +200 for Elvis Brenner and -265 for Miktabik Orabai. Elvis Brenner is from Brazil, 26 years old, 5'10", and a 72-inch reach, fighting out of Chuta Box Diego Lima, so with Charles Oliveira and that camp, while Miktabik is fighting out of Kyrgyzstan, 26 years old, but if you ask me, you could add a couple of zeros to that. He looks like he's 2,600 years old, could be from a caveman, wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, he is 5'10" and a 74-inch reach, D-Rose. After watching the Euro Schmedic fight, man, I went back. I'm like, okay, this dude's, one of the Dagestani, the Caucasus regions. they're just he's just gonna go out there and fucking grapple everyone. Dude, I went back and like watched his fights. Dude, he's snoozing fools, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't see where this dude's bad, man. This dude's good everywhere. He's great on the ground. He's a great wrestler and a great grappler. 6 submissions. He's got power on the feet, decent kicks, power in his hands, dude. It's just like, dude, me and you love Elvis Brenner, and we're going to be in Brazil. But, dude, Miktabik is a problem, especially down at 155, dude. So give me Orabai to, unfortunately, probably finish Elvis Brenner in Brazil. What's your thoughts on this fight, D-Rose?
Yeah, I kind of think the same way as you. And everybody knows that watches this channel. Elvis Brenner was in my fight of the year last year with him and Guram Kutateladze. I mean, the dude puts on absolute barn burner fights, gets brutal finishes. But yeah, I do think there's a yeah, I do think this is just ultimately just a bad matchup for Elvis Brenner. And a lot of those guys at a shoot the box camp, a lot of times, man, those guys get taken down and they just have so much belief in their jiu-jitsu that they're just going to go for their jiu-jitsu every time over trying to maybe stand up. And as you said, I think Miktabik, he has everything, good striking. He's not the best striker, but just in terms of having an overall well-rounded game, I know he trained at a Team Alpha as well. So Uriah Faber has just, talked glowingly about him being such a great fighter. So,
well, dude,
yeah,
he's had almost 3,000 years to hone his craft, man. He should be the best at it.
Yeah. It's just amazing how his bones haven't aged as much. Just his face. Yeah, that's it. And he still can't get a mustache. But that's another story. But yeah, make the big here. I think it'll probably end up being a decision win here. I think he'll win mostly with the wrestling and control. I think Elvis Brenner will be able to save himself from getting any submissions, but I think make the big dominates from beginning to end, and I think he gets the decision win here.
All right, so me and D Rose on Mektabek Orabai to defeat Elvis Brenner this weekend. So we'll move on to the next one where we do have Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Yasmin Lucindo. And is she going to be tan Karolina? Because if she's tan Karolina, dude, she might stand a little bit more of a chance against this Brazilian killer that is Yasmin Lucindo, dude. So let's get into it. 16-7 for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And, dude, at this fight 2 years and 8 months ago, I thought she was done, dude. And especially after she beat Felice Herrig, dude, I'm like, she's definitely done, dude. No. In the past 2 years, dude, she's rattled off 4 wins in a row against Felice Herrig, Silvana Gomez-Suarez, Vanessa Demopoulos, and most recently, 6 months ago, Deanna Belbita, dude. So we have this little second run here of Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Needless to say, I don't think any of these females are still in the UFC. So we do have to keep that in mind. On the other hand, Yasmin Lucindo has now had 3 fights in the UFC. You lost to Yasmin Heregi in the debut fight. That we're like, who are these chicks on the main card? And we found out in that absolute banger who both these chicks were, dude. And she's won 2 times since then, a decision win over Brogan Walker and a submission arm triangle win over Poliana Viana. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 310 for Karolina Kowalkiewicz and minus 440 for Yasmin Lucindo. Kowalkiewicz is from Poland, 38 years old, 5'3", and a 64-inch reach, while Yasmin Lucindo is 22 years old, dude. Holy shit. From Brazil, 5'3" and a 66-inch reach, dude. There's like a 16-year age difference here, dude. Like, they could literally be Karolina Kowalkiewicz could literally be Yasmin's mother, dude. Yeah, that's fucking wild, man. As I said, man, in like fucking Karolina's last 4 fights that she's won, you see the competition that she's facing. Those very low-level UFC competition. On the other hand, we've seen Yasmin, be shown to be very, very good. So I suspect Yasmin probably finishes Karolina via knockout or submission, either way she wants, dude. So give me Yasmin Lucindo to finish Karolina Kowalkiewicz, probably in the second round. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think Carolina, as you said, reeled off a bunch of wins in a row. That was also her coming off of 4 or 5 losses in a row. Like she had lost to, a bunch of good fighters at one point in time, and it seemed like she was going to retire while going on a Tony Ferguson type losing streak there. But she was able to get it turned around and able to, as you see, pull out the win streak that she has now. But I do think that her ultimate Achilles heel is a lot of times the wrestling defense. And although she has worked on it a lot more, and I know she's tan Carolina because she's training down an American Top Team now. But yeah, she's down in Florida getting some of that Florida sun and able to get that nice tan line filled in. Looking great with the red. I mean, not nearly as pale. So yeah, her skin is not nearly as fluorescent as it was before. But yeah, I think Yasmin Lucindo, she's just a little bit of a powerhouse, man. I think in the takedowns is where she's going to be able to take advantage of Carolina in this fight to be able to control her on the ground and potentially get a submission here. So hey, look, hey, you're talking to one of the biggest Tony fans. Hey, I'm not going to down Tony here. But yeah, we got to call a spade a spade. He's on a pretty bad losing streak. Unfortunately, but he's going to get it turned around though. But yeah, let's say Yasmin Lucindo here. She's going to get it done by I'll say by submission.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so me and D-Rose both on Yasmin Lucindo. We'll move on to the next one where we do have Joe Anderson, Tobarao Brito taking on Jack Tank Shore. So Joe Anderson Brito is 16-3-1 overall. All 5 of his last fights have taken place inside the UFC over the past 2 years, where I lost to Bill Algeo via decision. Knocked out Andre Fili in like 10 seconds. Submits Lucas Almeida a year and a half ago via rear naked choke. Knocked out Weston Wilson in a fight that should not have been sanctioned 10 months ago. And then, this one broke my heart, dude, was the JSP was on top of him like, get up, boy, do something. And then he gets up and submits him with a ninja choke. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that was wild. And then on the other hand, Jack Tank Shore, out of his last 5 fights, all 5 have been taking place in the UFC. He is 17-1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 4-1 with his only loss to Ricky Simone via arm triangle. And since then has submitted Makwan Americani, which doesn't really say a whole lot. Currently, odds for this fight are -174 for Joe Anderson Brito and +136 for Jack Tank Shore. Joe Anderson Brito is from Brazil. He is 29 years old, 5'8" and a 72-inch reach, while Jack Tank Shore is from Wales, UK, England, over there. 29 years old, 5'8" and a 71-inch reach. Give me Joe Anderson Brito to win this fight just due to the amount of damage that he lands on Jack Tank Shore. I don't know if he gets Tank out of there just because he's tough, but I know Joe Anderson Brito lands a lot of power, and I just suspect the Brazilian judges, fans, everyone to just be leaning that way, just landing more power and such. So give me Joe Anderson Brito to win this fight via decision. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Man, this is one that I've honestly been going back and forth on because I can see both fighters winning. Honestly, I can see Joe Anderson Brito knocking out Jack Shore, but I could also see Jack Shore surviving a hellacious beating in the first round. Watching Joe Anderson Brito kind of gas as the fight goes on, and Jack Shore kind of takes over late and essentially wins the fight later on. But man, I think I'm going to take the dog with Jack Shore here. I think Joe Anderson Brito, JSP, I think was able to give him a little bit of an issue when it came to the takedowns. And sneaky enough, Joe Anderson Brito obviously got good jiu-jitsu, but not great when it comes to his actual takedown defense. So I think that is one aspect that you can see where Jack Shore can come in and apply a little pressure on Joe Anderson Brito to be able to try to put Joe Anderson Brito on his back to see what he can do from there. Joe Anderson Brito is good with scrambles, and he's super strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is able to kind of throw him off of him. But man, I think Jack Shore can kind of take some of the steam out of those shots and what Joe Anderson Brito can deliver. And I'm going to go Jack Shore here.
All right. So D Rose on the dog of Jack Tank Shore, and I'm on the favorite of Joe Anderson Brito. So up next, we have the Bear Jew, Paul Craig, taking on the natural, Caio Borralho. Out of Paul Craig's last 5 fights, he is 2 wins and 3 losses. Altogether, he has 17 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw or no contest. While Caio Borralho is 15-1, 15 wins, 1 loss, won all 5 of his last 5 fights in the UFC inside of the past 2 years. I believe only 1 finish against Mikhail Erceg, though. Currently, odds for this fight are plus 400 for Paul Craig and minus 620 for Caio Borralho. Holy smokes, dude. And I was hoping to bet Caio Borralho, but no. You're just kidding. Anyway, Paul Craig from Scotland, 36 years old, 6'3" and a 76-inch reach, while Caio Borralho is from Brazil, 31 years old, 6'1" and a 75-inch reach. So Paul Craig going to be a little bit taller, but basically the same reach. Paul Craig going to have an inch reach advantage. Yeah, I think what this comes down to, D Rose, is just Paul Craig's chin. I think Caio's probably too good to get submitted by Paul Craig, and probably Paul Craig too good to get submitted by Caio Borralho. You know, this is down at 185. Paul Craig hasn't had a lot of fights down here, but, you know, when he has, he's, you know, gone about 50-50. You know, lost to Brendan Allen and I think beat Andre Muniz, right? So it's like, what can you really say? Yeah, I think this fight actually takes place on the feet the entire time, and I do believe that Caio Borralho probably gets his first knockout finish at some point in this fight, just because Paul Craig's chin is just bad. Yeah, so give me Caio Borralho. Let's go second round knockout. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones
Oh
where,
wow, we got odds for this. We got odds. Caio Borralho by knockout plus 250. I don't hate that.
Yeah, not terrible, man. And yeah, I think Caio Borralho, obviously, I think he gets a win. I think Paul Craig is going to just try to end up trying to pull guard at some point, trying to get it to the ground. And I think Caio Borralho, one thing he is good with is making sure he has position over submission. He makes sure that he keeps the ground control intact. So I think it could be a little bit of a slower fight, or I could see maybe Paul Craig leaving himself open and Caio Borralho going for a submission himself. But I'm probably going to end up, if I do bet this, I did put a little early money line bet with Caio Borralho, but it's not to win much. But yeah, I'm going to go Caio Borralho by decision here.
All right. Caio Borralho by decision is currently plus 195. I don't hate that either. Yeah, but that is the first fight on the main card. So that's the first one we got props and such for. So we'll move on to the next fight, which is Michel Demolador Pereira taking on Ihor Duelist Potieria, dude. So anyway, get off my screen. Anyway, Michel Pereira is 30 wins and 11 fights, and 30 wins and 11 losses. Out of his last 5 fights, all 5 have taken place inside the UFC over the past 2 years and 9 months. In all 5 wins, decision win over Nico Price, decision win over Andre Fiallo, split decision win over Santiago Ponzinibbio, knocked out Andre Petrovsky 6 months ago in his first fight up at 185, and then Michel Erceg rear naked choked him after hurting him to the body, I believe. On the other hand, so this is him moving up from 170. On the other hand, Ihor Potieria is moving down from 205. After the Rodolfo Bellato fight, and then he absolutely crushes Robert Bruschek, or actually don't crush him, but dropped Robert a few times, looked fantastic. Like fucking down at 185 in his last fight. This is gonna be an interesting fight. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 670. Michel Pereira. Plus 430 for Ihor Potieria, dude. Michel Pereira from Brazil, 30 years old, 6'1" and a 73-inch reach, while Ihor Potieria is from Ukraine, 27 years old, 6'3" and a 75-inch reach. So Ihor going to be the taller guy with a longer reach, D Rose. I'm gonna let you break this one down first, man.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't like the line on this fight. That's for sure. I mean, I want to go Michelle Pereira here as far as betting wise, but that big of a favorite, dude, that's absolutely nuts. And maybe Eor Pateria here, you know, he ended up knocking out Shogun Hua in Brazil. Maybe he's thinking he can come in and play spoiler again this time around and try to get another upset win. And as you said in his last fight at 185, you know, he did look good against Robert Price-Check. You know, he was landing spinning back fists, and you know, he looked like the guy that he was hyped to be coming in at 205, you know. So yeah, he looked very well in his last fight, striking looked clean. But Michelle Pereira's just been on an absolute roll right now. You know, looks like coming up from 185. You know, I said it coming out of his last fight. I'm pretty sure like he has like literally gotten at least about a foot taller and about like maybe 50 pounds bigger. Like I know he moved up only, you know, 15 pounds for his weight class, but he walks around every bit of a good 50, 100 pounds every year while being a foot taller. Like the dude's just gotten absolutely massive since moving up to 185. Been knocking dudes out that, you know, we normally don't see getting knocked out as cleanly as he's been doing it. So I think I think there's a chance that he can do it again to Eor Pateria here. So I want to go Michelle Pereira by knockout here.
All right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's probably the way it goes. I'm not picking Ehor, but I will probably find my way to like a $5 Ehor later, like Ehor 3 or decision bet, fucking something like that. Because, you know, we haven't seen Michelle pass the first round really up at 185. And, you know, Ehor is going to be the bigger guy. So this is an interesting fight, dude. I am going Michelle Pereira to knock out Ehor at some point, but I'll probably throw a $5 bill at some form of a Ehor prop, just whatever I can get the most money on, because I do feel like the line is just way too far apart, dude. Minus 670, dude. Come on now. Come on. It's still Michelle Pereira, ridiculous, dude. He lost to Tristan Connolly, dude. You know, it's like
145.
Exactly. And Diego Sanchez.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. Let's make it an 8-fight win streak for Demolador. Hell yeah, Austin. I feel it, brother. We got Lush dropping the $2 donation. I appreciate you, Lush. And then Riley right behind it with another two. Anyway, so we greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you for the donations, and we'll move on to the next one, which is Anthony Lionheart Smith taking on Vitor Petrino. Anthony Lionheart Smith, after fighting this weekend, is going to be fighting Vitor Petrino this upcoming weekend, dude. Crazy. Well, he has the heart of a lion, truly.
Looking like he's trying to get off that losing streak he was on, man.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Anyway, Anthony Smith, in his last 5 fights, he has won 2 and lost 3. Lastly, got demolished by Khalil Roundtree and almost ate the worst hammer fist of doom ever, dude. He did defeat Ryan. Him, yeah. He did defeat Ryan Spann 8 months ago via split decision. 2 losses, the Johnny Walker decision, and got knocked out via I guess got knocked out by Ankalaev, but that was an odd fight too.
He broke his leg in that fight or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah. And then almost 3 years ago, submitted Ryan Spann. On the other hand, Vitor Petrino, out of his last 5 fights, 4 have been in the UFC. 1's been on the Contender Series where he knocked out Rodolfo Bellato. This fight changed Anton Turkalj, dude, because he was pretty durable until this fight, man. And then after it, he's just got demolished ever since, dude. So decision win over Anton Turkalj. Submission arm triangle win over Marcin Prachnio. Meneses Bukauskas knockout, and Tyson Pedro decision win. Currently odds for this fight are plus 420 for Anthony Lionheart Smith and minus 650 for Vitor Petrino. So Anthony Smith from the United States, 35 years old, 6'4" and a 76-inch reach, while Vitor Petrino is 26 years old from Brazil, 6'2" and a 77.5-inch reach. Man, What do I say here?
Oh man.
Let's go, Lionheart. What am I doing? Get that off the screen. Let's go, Lionheart. Let's go, Lionheart. As much as I want Anthony Smith to win this fight, I met him in Vegas. Cool guy. Yeah, just a tough fight for him, man. He is the bigger guy, so I want to keep that out there. But dude, he just got knocked out fucking 4 months ago from Khalil Roundtree, and we don't really see Khalil. I mean, like, we don't really see Anthony Smith get like knocked out, dude. But that was rough, dude. That was rough. If he would have ate that hammer fist, I wouldn't have wanted to see him probably ever again, dude. That would have been it, dude. His like head would have had like the MVP fucking crush mark there, dude. From when the dude got kneed, dude. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be rooting for Lionheart. I'm gonna be cheering for Anthony Smith, but give me Vitor Petrino to win this fight via decision. Which way are you going here, man?
I'm surprised you won decision there. So I do think that Petrino, man, I'm going to steal a statement from you that you always make when making predictions for these fights. I've never picked Vitor Petrino to win a fight. Not once. Marcin Prachnio, Tyson Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all Anton Turkalj. Like I'm pretty sure I picked everybody to beat Vitor Petrino, and I'm always like, we haven't seen his cardio. He's got good power. Waiting until somebody drags him deep, and blah blah blah. And he's managed to prove me wrong every time. And I think Anthony Smith. If this is Anthony Smith probably 2 years ago, I'm probably going to pick Anthony Smith here because we've seen him, I would say 2 years ago at this point, a lot more willing to kind of stand and trade and also able to deliver the power shot. And I thought it really that Johnny Walker fight was the one for me where I was like, what the hell is going on with him? Like, he just seemed like he was kind of in his own world. He looked good in the Khalil fight, but he was obviously taking, a lot of damage. I thought he lost the first 2 rounds cleanly before getting knocked down the 3rd round. So, I think for Vitor Petrino is just going to have just a little bit more well-rounded ability as far as being able to take Anthony Smith down. Anthony Smith likes to use jiu-jitsu when he's on the ground. I think Vitor Petrino could take him down and control him there. So, I want to go Vitor Petrino here.
All right. How do you think he gets it done? Do you think he knocks him out? You think he submits him? You think he goes decision?
I'm gonna go TKO, man. Yeah, I don't think he flatlines him, but yeah, I think he ends up putting enough pressure on him, maybe landing a big shot, putting Anthony Smith down, and Anthony Smith kind of just covers up for the Vitor Petrino win. So yeah, I think a late TKO for Vitor Petrino.
All right. We've got another $2 Canadian donation from Riley saying 0.73 Canadian, $1 real. I'm confused. I don't know your math equation. This is tough, Riley. 222. I'm confused, Zeros. What's he saying?
I'm hoping he meant just 2 minus 73 Canadian dollars equals 1, but dude, I know he's going to.
I know it's like 75 cents for a Canadian dollar is like US or something like that. I'm not sure. I know it's like about half or something like that, something close to it. But anyway, Riley, I appreciate it. You're donating your money here on this channel. I appreciate it either way, even if it's a penny. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, that's what you're saying. The Canadian dollar is worth 73 cents your dollar. Yeah, that's what I expected. So, yeah. So either way, I truly appreciate it, Riley. So we'll move on to the co-main event, D-Rose. Co-main event time. We've got the Jonathan fighting.
The Jonathan Dragon.
The Jonathan. He's just the Jonathan. Anyway, Jonathan, the Dragon Martinez, taking on the King of Rio, the King of Rio, Junior, Jose Aldo Jr., Jose Jr. Aldo. I don't know which one it is, dude. Anyway, Jonathan Martinez is 19-4 overall. Won all 5 of his last 5 against Alejandro Perez via decision, Vince Morales via decision, Cub Swanson leg kicks TKO a year and a half ago, Said Nurmagomedov decision, very good win, and then Adrian Yanez leg kicks KO 6 months ago. On the other hand, Jose Aldo returning after retiring, dude. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years, and where he basically looked like Tyron Woodley against Merab Dvalishvili. And I will stand my ground in that statement, dude. He looked terrible against Merab. Even when he wasn't getting taken down, he was just backing against the fence, dude. Like, what are you doing, man? Anyway, 2 years ago, defeated Rob Font via decision, Pedro Munoz via decision, and Marlon Vera via decision, and then lost Piotr Jan in a title fight. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 166 for Jonathan Martinez, plus 130 for Jose Aldo. Jonathan Martinez is from the United States, 30 years old, 5'8", and a 69.5-inch reach, while Jose Aldo is the king of Rio. So, of course, he's from Brazil, 37 years old, 5'7", and a 70-inch reach. D-Rose, let me tell you about how I was feeling about this fight. So earlier this week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning, I was like, you know what? I feel like Jose Aldo's good, dude. Like, this is for sure the best guy that Jonathan Martinez has fought. Jose Aldo's good, like, even though he's been gone a little bit, that's still Jose Aldo, dude. And then something changed my mind, D-Rose, and guess what it was?
What?
I watched the countdown. I watched the UFC countdown, dude, and that's all it was. And you just see them training, dude, and you see Jonathan Martinez is in his MMA gym, throwing head kicks, leg kicks, doing what Jonathan Martinez does. And you see Jose Aldo. The only training footage of him training MMA is flashbacks to his old time, and all of his new footage, dude, is him in a boxing ring with boxing shoes on and MMA gloves and hitting like this, like little pad and shit, dude. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, come on, Jose. It's like I understand you think your leg kicks are still good and shit, but if you're not training for that shit and you're in a boxing gym, dude, it's just not going to be good, dude. So, yeah. Give me Jonathan Martinez to end up knocking Jose Aldo out, dude. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets another finish via leg kicks, man, because as crazy as it sounds, I don't think Jose Aldo is ready for Jonathan Martinez's leg kicks. And as crazy as it sounds, because Jose Aldo is known for his leg kicks up at 145, but it just hasn't happened down at 135 at all. He's literally just a boxer down at 135, and he went off and he did that. But in his new training footage, he's still in the boxing gym, and he still talks about how he's such a good boxer, dude. And yeah, I don't know. Jonathan Martinez to win via knockouts plus 390, and I don't hate that. What's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, I think this is probably the most probably going to be the most highly contested fight of the night. I think, like I think as far as the way both the fighters match up, the closely contested, and I can see the fight going either way. Jonathan Martinez, as you said, dangerous to the leg kicks. Gotten a bunch of finishes via leg kicks now, and has fought some good boxers and been able to get good leg kick finishes as well, like you said, against Adrian Yanez and against others. For some reason, though, I keep having flashbacks, and I picked Davy Grant going into that fight, but I keep having flashbacks of that Davy Grant, you going for that hook to the body and to that right to the body, the left over the top, crushing Jonathan Martinez and getting him out of there with the ground and pound. And yeah, I think Jonathan Martinez is obviously dangerous with the leg kicks, and I'm going to assume that Jose Aldo at this point knows how to defend a leg kick. I think at this point, and he's broken his feet before. I believe he broke his foot in the zombie fight when he was throwing leg kicks in that fight as well. So I think he himself has just gone away from the leg kicks more and just has decided to use more of his boxing game But dude, if you look at his boxing's nasty, and he's got good body shots. And I think that's something that if he's able to work in his body shots, work in the forward pressure, that's one thing that he could do to take away the leg kick from Jonathan Martinez. I'm going to go Jose Aldo here, man, because I think the reason why Jose Aldo didn't look as great in that Merab fight is because he's waiting for the takedown. And Merab really wasn't able to really get the takedown, but I think Jose was just more, that was where his mindset was at. We know Jose Aldo's takedown defense is lights out. No one's going to take him down, and if you do, you're not going to hold him down for long, and he's going to get right back up. And I think the way that Jose Aldo can take away those leg kicks from Jonathan Martinez is the pressure with his boxing. And get on the inside. I think if he's able to work them body shots, man. And he's the only reason, in my opinion, he's coming back to fight in the UFC right now is because they're going to Rio, and because he wanted to fight in Rio to end his career. Didn't get to do it against Merab, so this is going to be a homecoming for him. And it's not like he's been off the last 2 years. He's been fighting the last 2 years. He's taken a couple of boxing matches in between his last fight with Merab until now. So he has been active and fighting. So I'm going to go Jose Aldo here to get it done. I'm gonna say by decision, but yeah, I think Jose Aldo gets it done.
All right, so another different pick here. D-Rose going Jose Aldo. I'm going the Dragon, Jonathan Martinez. So we'll move on to the main event of the evening. If y'all haven't already, please do us a favor and hit a thumbs up button on the video. Support your boys if you don't mind. We've got Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja taking on Astro Boy Steve Erceg. Both fighters have won all 5 of their last 5 fights. The Cannibal Alexandre Pantoja is 27-5 overall, while Astro Boy Steve Erceg is 12-1 overall. Out of Alexandre Pantoja's last 5 fights, he has a unanimous decision win over 5 rounds against Brandon Royval, a split decision win over 5 rounds against Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez first round submission rear naked choke, Brandon Royval submission rear naked choke, and a Manal Cap decision 3 years ago in one of D Rose's favorite fights to recreate. Anyway, Steve Erceg has came into the UFC. This is his. He's had 3 fights in the UFC. On the Canada card against David Dvorak, me and D Rose were opening UFC cards while this fight was going on, but he did defeat David Dvorak via decision. He did defeat Alessandro Costa via decision, and we all know that little monster that Alessandro Costa is. And then knocked out Matt Schnell a month ago, and then Chris Tyone basically knocked out Matt Schnell again after by making fun of him getting knocked out. Anyway, Pantoja is from Brazil, 34 years old, 5'5", and a 68-inch reach, while Steve Erceg is from Australia, 28 years old, 5'8", and a 68.5-inch reach. Yeah, currently odds for this fight, -200 for Alexandre Pantoja and +154 for Steve Erceg. D-Rose, this is the hardest fight I have been trying to pick on all week because I'm a big Pantoja fan. And after he beat Brandon Moreno, I fucking said, I'm like, no one's going to beat this dude for a while because he's already beat the entire division. And multiple times now. So, who's he even going to fucking fight? And that's kind of happening here, dude. They had to reach all the way down to the number 10 spot to Steve Erceg to get Pantoja a fight in Brazil. And I do think this is a little soon for Steve Erceg, in my opinion. But that's just me. I could be wrong. One thing that I do think could cause Pantoja problems is, Pantoja just goes all out, man. He just goes all out. And when he gets tired, he's just tired and just continues to just go through it. He might be tired, but he's still going to give it his all no matter what. But the issue is he drops his hands, dude. And I'm wondering if later on in the fight, Steve Erceg's got really clean boxing. But we haven't really seen Steve Erceg in 4 or 5, anything like that. So how clean does his boxing look later on? But I'm going to point out that if Pantoja's hands drop later on in this fight, I could 100% see Steve Erceg catching Pantoja with some clean boxing and probably getting him out of there late 3, 4, something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. But I do think this is a little early for Steve Erceg. So I do have to go Alexandre Pantoja to probably win this fight via decision. So give me Pantoja to win this fight via decision. But if Steve Erceg, end up knocking Pantoja out, it wouldn't surprise me because when Pantoja gets tired, he does drop his hands. Steve Erceg by knockout is plus 420, and I don't hate that. But yeah, give me Pantoja to win the fight via decision. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah. If I'm being honest, you really broke it down well to where honestly we pretty much have the same exact wavelength in terms of how we see this fight. I do think that Pantoja, obviously the experience, the higher level competition, more 5-round fights at this point. Steve Erceg, he's a good boxer, as we know, good kicks. He's got a nasty body kick, good jiu-jitsu off his back, so it's not going to be easy to hold him down if you are able to take him down. But I do think that for Pantoja, again, as you said, it does worry me that when he does get tired, he does just straight up drop his hands, but his style seems to be very effective because he still ends up wearing on his opponents more than his gas tank ends up getting worn on. I mean, when his gas tank is on E, he pulls in the reserve. And he pulls in the reserve gas, and that shit ends up taking him to the end of the fight. And I think that's just ultimately his pure guts and will is going to will him to the win here. I'm going to say, if I'm betting this, I'm going to say Pantoja 4 or 5 or decision. I might go like an alternate round style of betting just to cover myself, just in case of a late submission occurs where Steve Erceg hasn't necessarily gone those late rounds or that we've seen. But I'm going to go Pantoja here.
All right. Yeah, dude, this one's the one for like me when I'm like, damn, dude, I could 100% see Steve Erceg winning this fight. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I could see it. But I am picking Pantoja to win. So, yeah, man, we have 6 different fights this weekend, according to our guy, Lush Lomain. So, thank you, Lush. You are a true gentleman, my guy, covering up D-Rose's face with so many different picks. You guys pick different on Costa versus Borjas, Barboza versus Karaskati, Rufi versus Malarkey, Silva versus Gomes, Brito versus Shore, and Martinez versus Aldo. So, D-Rose, I'm going to throw the girl fight out, the Barboza versus Karaskati, because we don't know shit about them. I'm not going to pretend like we do, right?
Not a damn bit.
That's probably the one you would have threw out too, right? Or
very much so.
Yeah. So our 5 different picks for this weekend are going to be Costa versus Borjas, where I'm going Alessandro Costa, D-Rose going Kevin Borjas. Our second different fight is going to be Mauricio Hufi versus Jamie Malarkey, where I'm going Mauricio Hufi, D-Rose going Jamie Malarkey. Our third different fight is Silva versus William Gomi, Gene Silva. That's his name. I had to fucking bark first to remember his name. Where I am going Gene Silva, D-Rose going William Gomi. And our fourth different fight is Joe Anderson Brito versus Jack Tank Shore, where I am going Joe Anderson Brito, D-Rose going Jack Tank Shore. And because it's a pay-per-view, we've got 5 different ones. I'm going Jonathan the Dragon Martinez. D-Rose is going Jose Jr. Aldo. So shout out Lush Lomain for keeping track of all of our different picks for this weekend. I really appreciate it, Lush. And when I clean sweep D-Rose this week, well, that means when I get all 5 of our pick champ picks right this week, D-Rose will be eating 3 Bean Boozled. Possibly Sunday night or possibly Saturday night, depending on if we do the recap. But to be honest, this pay-per-view is kind of bad, so you guys might just get us on the following Wednesday.
Very good chance. There's a very good chance.
Oh goodness. So yeah, D-Rose, with that being said, that's all that we have planned for the show. You want to let people know anything before we get out of here? And do you have any plans for Friday? Would you like to want to change the cheddar? Or I don't have any special people planned or anything like that. No Uncle Weezy this time, no Clint this time or anything like that, dude. It's fun bringing other people on, but I'm scared to reach out because it's like they're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? So I'm always kind of like hesitant to like reach out to people,
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, as long as because I'm scheduled late, I know you normally do a little bit later. So as long as I
Yeah,
don't have
10.
anything crazy going on, yeah, I should be able to make it there on
Yeah,
Friday.
like you was, I better not be working tonight,
Dude,
like
I better not be, but dude, that it happened last Saturday, and I was there last
10.
Tuesday till like, yeah, I didn't leave till like probably like 10. It's probably like a little after 10, maybe 10 or
Bro.
so. And then I had one night last Tuesday where I was there till like 9:30. So yeah, so sometimes, man, the nights get late sometimes. I don't like to be, but just what it calls for sometimes.
Dude, you are a better man than me. I would have went home like, this ain't no fucking Lamborghini. I'm out of here.
Gotta make sure that commission comes in, brother. When you pure commission, you gotta buzz for it, man.
I got you. Enjoy the fights this weekend, everyone. And Polmick gifting a membership. I appreciate you, Tim. Thank you for gifting a membership, and it is going to Basic Andy. So congratulations, Basic Andy. You are now a member here on the channel for the next 30 days, brother. So you have a chance to win some free UFC cards. So congratulations. Make sure you thank Tim for gifting you the membership. Riley saying let's go, and then we got all the members in here saying congratulations. They all know what's up. It's well worth getting gifted. I need a new card, D-Rose. Hook me up.
Hey, come through. I'm gonna have to start getting a little creative. Like I've seen some of these videos where it's
the
like
Instagram
will reenact the scene. Yeah, people will reenact like a crazy video of like somebody in a car wreck, and then they're like, yeah, let's come down here by this car. I gotta try to get
D-Rose, I'm telling you, dude, you need to open up an Instagram like fucking D-Rose at Motor Mile, and you should just hop on there every day and like, you see this 2015 Kia Rio? Why don't you come down here and test drive this? Woo, this badass motherfucker, and just be so over the top, dude. But at worst, you'll get people coming in to fucking see you. Maybe just take pictures, but at least your day will be entertaining. You know, entertaining.
Yeah. But again, me being commission worker, people trying to come in and take pictures. Like, yeah, that's cool, but are you going to buy a car? And if not, we can take pictures later, buddy. But I got business to do. You in the way of business right now, buddy. I appreciate it. But you're gonna get stepping if you ain't buying.
All right, man. All right. Well, that being said, I guess me and D-Rose will catch my flag's falling down back here without the strap holding it up, man. I gotta look at Dave. I got a 512 credit score. I need 3%, 300 a month with 0 down. D-Rose is like, yeah, I can figure out. I can probably get you in one of those Fisher Price little tykes, something like that. You're one of the ones you push with your feet.
Yeah, congratulations. You will get a 2017 Kia Soul that is $14,989, and your payments would be about roughly about $500 a month on 60 months.
Yeah, crazy, dude, crazy. Yeah, cars, tough, dude, tough. Those creditors, man, the banks. The banks. All right, man. I'm not gonna hold you up anymore. We've been here fucking 2 hours talking about this terrible ass UFC 301. With that being said,
longer than I thought.
Yeah, my name is Matt. Obviously, D-Rose is on this side of your screen. We will both be back here Friday night for Change of Cheddar, I'm gonna give you all of the bets that I have currently made and plan on making. We're gonna run through the weigh-ins, face-offs and all that, give you one last picks and everything like that, and then I'll announce the weekly Predict a Fight game. But I'll be probably live here tomorrow opening up some UFC cards. So if you guys don't have anything to do tomorrow night, I'll probably be live here tomorrow night, probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. I don't have it scheduled or anything, but I'll end up popping it up. But I will see you guys here live tomorrow night. Me and D-Rose will both see you here live on Friday night for Change of Cheddar, and we will we'll see you guys later. Appreciate you guys for stopping by here. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button on y'all's way out, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.